Hey everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell to share with you today. I'm going to be using the new Beauty of Friendship stamp set and coordinating dies to make this fun fold card for you. So the new catalog started on May 3rd, and this was one of the stamp sets that I was able to purchase pre-order as a demonstrator. So we are going to make this fun fold card. You can see I'm using cinnamon cider as my card base. I'm doing this little fun flap here, okay, and we're going to stamp the front and the inside and make our own embellishments with the dies. So let's go ahead and get started. This one's actually going to open top down just because that's the way my cardstock was cut that I had in my stock. So this one will be a little different, but you'll get the same idea. Okay, so it's also be a good example of how you can make a card either way but use the same design. Alright, so I folded my cardstock in half. I have a piece of cinnamon cider here. It's, I believe, 5.5, yep, by 3 3/4. I'm just going to fold that in half. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to one part of that flap, just one part. Okay, this is going to be the piece that goes on the inside of my card base. So I'm just going to open my card base like this, and I'm going to adhere that along the edge there. Okay, just kind of lining up my edge and pressing that down. Okay, so that's going to make my flap, just like that. Okay, this one, it opened this way, but the flap goes on exactly the same way. So you can make it either way. So there's my card base. Now, I do have some panels here. I've already die cut a tree. I've stamped with my Mossy Meadow the top of the tree, and I've die cut a bird. And from the Stitched So Sweetly dies, I have my tag element. I also have a piece of Very Vanilla cut with the stitched rectangle dies. That's going to be my front piece, and I have another piece of Very Vanilla for the inside. So let's build it from the inside out. So I'm going to open up my cinnamon cider ink. This is going to be for my tree itself. So I'm just going to stamp my tree. And I'm going to add that to the inside. And then I'm going to also open my Mossy Meadow. And this is what I used for my green, so for my tree top. And these are great because they're photopolymer, so I can see through for placement. So I can come right over the top of my tree, line up my greenery, and just stamp that down on the frame of the tree. Now there's also a second two-step stamp that if you stamped it, it will give you a fuller coverage, but I'm going to leave this one open. So then on the inside, I'm adding the sentiment, I believe in you, because on the front, I'm going to use the sentiment, you truly inspire me. So in my green, I just ink that up, and I'm putting it right here by the tree. Just nice and simple. Okay, so now if I come back to the inside of my card, I've cut this inside panel at 4 by 5 1/4, so it's going to fill almost the whole center of the card. It's only going to have a little bit of framing around it. And I'm just very lightly going to add my adhesive to the back. And then that's going to go right over that flap. So it's important to attach the flap first so that your liner covers up that piece on the inside. Okay? Alright, inside out. So there's the inside panel. This is going to come down. Now, for the front panel, I was inspired actually by a scrap piece that I was playing with when I first opened the stamp set. See, I stamped some trees and then I did different colored treetops, and I kind of was getting a feel for the way I wanted the images to go together, and I thought, you know what, I really like looking up through the treetops, so let's make a card that reminds me of that. So that's where this idea came from for the front of the panel. So watch how I stamp that. So again, with my cinnamon cider ink, I'm going to start with my trees. Now I'm just kind of coming in from the edges, right, because I want there to be a lot of clean space in the middle. right, where I would be looking up through the sky. And I'm not trying to put them exactly off of each other, but I am trying to put them around the edges, kind of off kilter. So there's that. Then what I did from here is I inked up my green and went along and filled in these trees. Now, you could leave it with just the 4 trees if you wanted to, okay? But I decided I wanted a little more. So now I'm going with my green, and I just kind of came along and filled in some of this space below those original trees, just to kind of give it a little more shape and dimension. Now after I do those additional green tops, I came back in and I added the tree. So two-step stamping can go either way, right? Originally I started with the tree trunk, but now that I've added the extra tree top, I can go back and add my tree trunk inside that space. Okay, so there's that. So this, again, I'm just going to add that with my liquid adhesive. I just put that right on the center. Now, the nice thing about the liquid adhesive is that it lets me move it around a little bit if I had it not quite positioned where I want it to be, but I did a pretty good job putting that down. So there's the front. Now I've just got my flap. Okay, so like I said, I did this with the Stitched So Sweetly die. I'm just going to give this a little crease so it actually folds a little bit flatter. So I'm going to stamp in there the You Truly Inspire Me. So I'm going with the green, my Mossy Meadow, and I can see through, so I can position that right onto my tag cut there. I'm going to add dimensionals to the back and just flip that over. Got a hair stuck on there, let's get that off. There. Alright, so I'm just going to put this down. I'm putting it right near the edge of where that flap comes over. And then I've just trimmed off the edge of my dimensionals here, and I have this little thin strip, and I'm just going to take a little rectangle of that, and that's how I'm going to attach my tree trunk. Right, we're making our own embellishment here, so I'm just adding that to here, peel off the backer, and then I'm going to position my tree to cover that. Pretty easy there. Then, let's see, I need my mini dimensionals because this tree is kind of small. I'm going to add 2 mini dimensionals to this tree front. Pull off those backers. Alright, be careful not to put them where the spaces are open because you don't want it to stick closed. And then I'm just adding my tree top to there. And then I'm going to add my bird as well. Now the bird I cut out of Cajun Craze. I actually happen to have made a second card that was with Cajun Craze that I will share down the road, but I had the extra bird and I thought that the color coordinated kind of nice. So there you go. There's my card design. Kind of cool, huh? So it's got this fun fancy fold. Like I said, you can make it either direction, okay, but you get the feel for this fun card. So I hope you enjoyed the show and tell today. I have the link to my blog post below in the comments, and you can always leave comments here or over on the blog. I appreciate to know what you like about the projects, and I'll share again with you real soon. Alright everybody, do some fun stamping, enjoy those new catalogs, and let me know if you need any help placing orders. Happy to do that as well. Alright everybody, have a great day. Bye-bye.